All right, so for this visual lesson, I'm going to walk you through how to create your first book on the Kindle digital publishing, which is the arm of Amazon. So when you go here, obviously you're going to go to the website first, kdp.amazon.com, if you see that up here in the address box. When you get to the site, obviously, again, it's going to ask you to log in. So if you do not have an Amazon account, you'll have to create one. Now, this is my same Amazon login that I use for all of my Amazon stuff, even for shopping. So if you already have an Amazon account, you can use that login to set up your publishing website as well. So when you get to the website, it's going to say create, manage, and publish. Now, when you see my bookshelf, which is where we are, it lists all of the projects that I have started underneath this Amazon account. Now, in order for you to start a new series or a new title, you have to create it from scratch, building up all the way to making it live. As you see here, this is a live book that was published in 2013. There is my serial number, also tells you the different platforms and countries that is available in. And then, of course, it also says that I attempted this year to start doing a hardback or a hardcover, but that was never completed. But this is the live version for my first release. My very first self-published book is um, was done on March 13, 2013. So now if I wanted to do any of these other things like create an ebook or like you see here a hardcover, you need an ISBN for each one of those mediums. So if you are limited in the ones that you have, then just start with the paperback. So let's go ahead and click on create. It's going to ask you, what would you like to create? Pick the option and we'll get you started. So basically what's going to happen is you pick the type of output you want. Do you want an ebook, a paperback, or a hardcover? And these series pages and Kindle Villas, I've not worked with those, so I can't really speak on those. But for a traditional book, one of these three top options would be where we were going to start. So most books that I've done are all paperback. So I'm going to click on that as our go-to for today. All right, standard ink language for the book. If you wrote your book in English, you put English. If you wrote it in another language, you put another language. So the primary language goes there. Now, what is the book title? Now, if you have a book title that you want to use, it can always be changed later before you actually hit publish. But for the sake of going through this example, if you're going to walk through it with me, then just type in the title that you currently plan to use. But again, you can change it later. Moving on to the series, if you are doing a relationship series or any type of, 1, 2, 3 series type of book, then you can put the details here for the series. An edition, same thing. If you plan on having multiple editions of a similar title, you can put your edition number here. Now, the author is who is primarily responsible for creating this title. And this is where we call the pen name, or we use the word pseudonym. And my pseudonym is V. Marie. So I'm going to put that here. I don't put prefixes or anything else. Whatever you want to be showing, you put that under the contributor. If you have any additional writers working with you, a co-writer, for example, or if you have any of these other people you need to give credit to, if you have a picture book and you need to give credit to your illustrator, if you need to give credit to an editor, these are the credits that will show up under your published title, not necessarily on your book cover. So just understand this is just the back office of the publishing site, and this information is available to people who will be looking for it, but it's not necessarily on your printed copy. What shows up on your printed copy of your book will be what you decide to put on your book cover. Okay, so if you have your synopsis already typed out, you're going to type that in here or copy and paste it. It's basically, again, the summary of your book. And this is what people will see when they shop online for your book through Amazon or any of the other online stores. This is what they're going to be able to read to decide if they're going to purchase your book. So make sure your synopsis is good and also that it matches what's on the book cover. So I typically use the same description or the summary that I use on the back of the book on this description as well. Now, the publishing rights is the most important part of how you get your money. So, do you own the copyrights and you have the necessary rights to publish whatever you're publishing? If you do, then of course you pick that. And if we're creating our own works, then we should all be saying that we own the rights. Now, keywords here is optional, but if you want people to be able to search up your type of book, then you can put in the type of keywords that you think will go with your title. Okay. All right, I'll just put 4. You can put up to 7 in that box. Now, your category is going to be important because this determines where your book can be placed online and what type of parameters will be placed around it. So, I'm going to go down to romance. That's one of the genres that I work in. And I'm going to select general. Now, if I were to select erotica or, something along the adult area, it will require you to label your book as adult 18 and over. So not every book that I write is erotica. So I'm going to choose romance general and I'm going to say, does this book contain language, situations, or images inappropriate for children? I'm going to say no because it will not be inappropriate content. Now, if you are writing erotica, you will want to make sure that you scrub your book and make sure you don't have anything in there that will be flagged because they do a stringent review online for certain things like that. So, does your book classify as any of these journals, notebook planners, things like that? If they do, then you just select that. Don't select it if that does not apply to you. So, you're going to go ahead and click continue. Now, this is where you get the actual credit for your book. So you said you're the publisher and you have all the rights, but the ISBN number, which stands for the International Standard Book Number, this is the number that identifies your book and who gets the credit for it. And if you have your own ISBN number, which I did talk about in a lesson, that you do need to have an ISBN number through Bowker. If you don't have that, then you can let Amazon provide one to you. Now, allowing Amazon to provide one to you, you're going to see that they will offer it to you for distribution through its partners, and it cannot be used with any other publishing service. And it is free. Now, if you don't know what free means, you might want to go ahead here and look into what will happen to your ownership if you use the free ISBN number. Most likely, because I've never used their free ones, there is going to be more or less, shall I say, royalties that come to you. So I always use my own, and right now I don't have it to put in here. So I'm going to leave it blank for now. My suspected publishing date, obviously, it can't go any further than today because we can't set it for tomorrow. You only set this date really when you're actually ready to publish. Now, this is your print options. How do you want the inside of your book to look? This is typically what I select: black and white interior. And then, depending on how you want it to be, this will determine the cost as well when it comes to printing. Okay. Now, I am going to be uploading a sample that is not this size. So I'm going to change it to a 5.5 by 8.5 for this sample. A standard book, as you know, falls into these most popular sizes. So you just need to make sure that you choose the one that will be for you. And I will give you information on templates and all of that. No bleed because I don't have any pictures that go to the edge of the page and so on. And matte just means I don't want my pages to be glossy. Again, because this is not a illustrated book. It's just a novel. It doesn't need to be glossy. Now, here is where you get to upload your actual completed manuscript. Okay. Now, I believe I have a sample somewhere on here that I'm going to upload. Now, this is not a completed work. It's just a sample. As you can see, there's only a few pages, and I'm just going to upload this as a sample. Once you get this completely uploaded, it's going to ask you to start working on your book cover. Now, Amazon does provide you with a free basic book cover process. But if you have someone who can design your book cover, you can upload that here on your own, right here. Upload a book cover you already have. But since I'm going to be using this as an example, I'm just going to show you how the book cover works. Now, I have done this before when I wasn't quite ready to publish. I just used this as a holding place for my I use this as a holding place for my books. And then once I had my book cover completed, I would change it to fit more of what my cover would look like. So I'm just going to pick this basic one. And it does tell you that fill in um, you need to fill in some of the information that has those explanation points on there. So I know I have a headshot somewhere on this computer. I just have to find it. There it is. All right. So once I put my headshot in there, it's going to go on. And obviously, it's telling me that I need to change this information and put my information. Okay. Now, if you wanted to add anything like, your barcode and things like that, if you're going to use this sample, then you can upload those things as well. But for the sake of this example, we're just going to use that basic template. All right. So here is my generic book cover. So I'm going to click save and submit. And I'm going to go down to the bottom here to make sure it was successful. Now, before I can go any further with the pricing, I do need to go ahead and start the launch and launch the viewer. Let's see, that looks like something is, let's see here. Well, I believe I can go, can't go forward until um, you fix this here, which is you have to do the launch previewer, which the launch previewer does take a while. So I am going to pause this video and then come back once the